If you're anything like me, you've noticed the sheer number of YouTubers making backrooms content lately. Well, I thought I'd get in on the trend and put my own spin on things, the result being my previous video. I started by creating the level textures. For the wall, I simply cut out a section of the original backrooms image and then edited it to make it seamless. For the other textures, I just found free textures online and then edited them to my needs. Then I created some basic level geometry just out of boxes in Blender. For the monster, I didn't have much of an idea exactly of how I wanted it to look, other than wanting it to look reminiscent of the monster from Walk Sampo. I don't have much experience with character modelling, so I opted to keep the design simple, going for a design reminiscent of a character in a dress. For the hands, I took inspiration from Final Fantasy and went for these wedge shapes. I was originally imagining that the character would be dressed similarly to a bride, and so I was intending for her to be wearing a veil, but I found it quite difficult to model this in a low poly style. However, at one point while trying to recreate this, I placed a cube over the head, and then decided that this would be a much better character design, and so I rolled with it and incorporated it into the final character design. For the texturing, I also opted to keep it very simple, going for a simple all black texture, except for this teeth texture which I painted and then mapped onto the head. When it came to animating, I created 3 animations. The first animation is the simple idle animation of the creature hunched over. The second is for when the creature notices you. I thought she looked pretty goofy with her arms to the side, so I took inspiration from Solaire and put her in this Praise the Sun pose, imagining that the pose allows her to draw from some demonic power. I don't have much animation experience, so this animation does look pretty janky, but since you see it in the dark from a distance, I think it's okay. For the walking animation, I just decided to have the creature float while violently shaking side to side. I figured that this is suitably creepy for a walking animation and meant that I didn't need to worry about animating a good looking walk cycle. Once I had all of my models, I imported everything into Unity. The process here was very simple. I just added some lights to the scene, added a basic character controller, and then hooked up the creature's animations. I also decided to add this ominous red light in the hallway where the creature resides. To avoid needing to program her AI, I just mapped each animation to a keyboard key to be triggered manually. When the shake animation is playing, she also begins to move down the corridor. To get the authentic PS1 look, I made use of this PSX shader and made sure to render at a low resolution. Make sure to check out my tutorial on creating a PS1 style horror game for more information on how to do this. When it came to sound design, I decided that the easiest way would be to edit everything in Audacity and then manually sync it with the video in Resolve. For the ambient sound effects, I just used some free sounds that I found online. I made sure to include a light buzzing sound, as this is something that is mentioned in the original image. The static sound was created by simply generating and then EQing some white noise in Audacity. For the creature sound effects, I basically just made various screeching noises into my microphone, vaguely inspired by the ghast from Minecraft. Then, to make them sound creepier, I pitched them down slightly and applied some reverb, EQ, and distortion. I tried several different noises for the sound that the creature makes as it chases you, but they all sounded rather goofy and uninspired to me. Eventually though, I settled on this distorted giggling noise, which seemed suitably creepy, and a bit less uninspired than simply screaming. All of the visual effects were created using Resolve. I applied a scanline, vignette, and dent effect in order to recreate the look of a CRT monitor. This evokes the feeling of playing an old PS1 game, as well as being reminiscent of the found footage aesthetic that's common in backrooms media. When you encounter and are subsequently chased by the creature, I went further with the CRT theme and took inspiration from the original Slender video game and recreated a TV static effect that gets stronger as the creature approaches. To recreate this, I used the fast noise effect. I also added some camera shake as the player character moves away from the creature to enhance the sense of horror and urgency, as well as to further lean into the found footage aesthetic. And that's it! I hope you found this video interesting and learned something for your own projects. If you're creating anything, I'd love to see it, so make sure to come by and show it off in my Discord server. If there's anything else that you'd like to see me recreate in a PS1 style, make sure to let me know in the comments. Finally, If you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.